I've asked my siblings countless times if they would help me learn Japanese, but after getting another when I have time from them, I decided to just go learn Russian instead, and now they're mad at me. Posted by you/learning Russian. Using a throwaway on my friend's phone because my brother checks my phone. Okay, so there's me, 15M, and my older siblings John, 20M, and Kara, 17F. They're my half-siblings, but we all live with our mom. Our mom is half Japanese. Their dad was fully Japanese and my dad is white. They both speak Japanese with each other and do some of the cultural stuff too because they still talk to their dad's family and visit them. But they never do those things with me even though I've asked them to help me learn Japanese and everything. I did Duolingo and I tried researching, but they always brushed it off or laughed at me because I never really got good at it. Kara said that she'll help me when she has time, but she's been saying that for years so she clearly doesn't mean it. John doesn't even touch the subject. So I decided that I don't care about it anymore and I won't try. Now I'm learning Russian because my mom said that my dad is Russian. I figured I might as well learn to embrace that side of me since she's never going to bother helping me with her side. Me and my friend, also 15, are both learning it together at school during our free period because he thought it sounded cool. I started watching a show that me and my siblings usually watch together but in Russian because I thought it would help me since I'm already familiar with it. My sister noticed and now she's giving me the silent treatment. I asked my brother about it and he said that I'm being ridiculous and immature and he won't really explain anything either. I don't think I did anything wrong, I think they're just mad that I don't need their Japanese anymore, but they both seem pretty sure and usually they're the ones running the house, so am I a jerk for learning Russian instead of Japanese? Commenter. I'm thinking racism. You're never gonna be good enough because you're tainted by the white half. Also, I'm kind of side-eyeing then age if you and your sister. It seems like either your mom had an affair, cheated, or moved on from a relationship way too fast. Either way, you're being punished for existing. NTA. Op. My mom did cheat on their dad but he didn't really care. Their dad stuck around after I was born even though I wasn't his, but he died when I was 1. We're half siblings but besides this we've never really talked about it. Update 1. 1 day later. Sort of have an update but also some clarifications. I wouldn't really call myself an affair child because it sounds really rich or something. In my neighborhood there's a lot of cheating and baby daddy drama, so I didn't really ever feel out of place. John and Kara don't ever do anything to make me feel bad about it either except, eek, the whole Japanese thing. I'm not fluent in Japanese or Russian, just English. I've tried learning Japanese but it's pretty hard when all you have is Duolingo and nobody that wants to talk it with you. Kara says she'll help but never does. John never helps because I'm too bad at it, that's what he says. I'm learning Russian but I'm not that far in. Someone mentioned Asian racism and I think maybe that's a part of it. Sometimes John and Kara talk to their dad's family who still live in Japan, relevant to the update, and they're barely Japanese enough for them. John and Kara look almost completely Japanese because they're 3/4, but apparently even that isn't enough because John has a big nose and Kara acts too American. They said that there's no way I would ever fit into Japan and Japanese culture because I'm only 1/4 and look way more white. Now for the update. Sometimes their dad's family comes to visit because they've got other relatives in the state. This time though, they said that they want John and Kara to come to Japan for winter break. I found out after school and I don't even want to look at them. It's all expenses paid, so there's nothing keeping them here and I'm going to be stuck with my mom and whatever guys she brings over while they play around in Japan without me. Kara tried to talk about the Russian thing again but I just went to my friend's house, typing this in his phone while he reads over my shoulder like a weirdo, because I don't care about whatever she wants to say. John will probably drag me home, but not for another hour at least. I don't even know what to say to them, and I really don't want to be stuck here with my mom for 2 weeks for Christmas. Update 2. 9 days later. John and Kara didn't go to school or anything today so they could catch their flight. I'm pretty sure they're still on the plane right now because Kara said she'd text me when they landed. I didn't get to skip school to see them off or anything, so that sucked, but it's because I was staying with my friend, Jimmy. He's more relevant now so he gets a name, last night. John wanted me to so that I didn't have to go over there alone because my mom was being crazy again. Apparently when she found out that I wasn't staying with her during break she got really butthurt that I didn't want to stay with her and her new guy during break. I don't know why she even cares because I know for a fact that she hasn't bought any presents. She threw a bunch of plates and drove off. John says she's probably with her boyfriend. He and Kara drove me to Jimmy's house and dropped me off and we did our goodbyes there, then they drove to one of John's friends' houses because he's their ride. I'm still mad that we aren't going to be doing Christmas together. I'm with Jimmy and his dad? I thought it was his dad but my friend said he wasn't. But he didn't tell me what he is, so I'm still confused, and they're gonna be off in Japan touristing. I told John that I didn't want to talk to him because he's still being a jerk about the whole Russian-Japanese thing, but I'm nervous now because me and Jimmy were watching this video on YouTube about plane crashes and then later on TikTok we watched the videos about new plane crashes from like last year, and then we were watching one of those disaster movies and there was another plane crash in it. It feels like a sign that they're going to crash or something, and I don't want to freak out at Jimmy's house because I still don't even know who the adult guy in his house is to him, and that's weird. Jimmy is trying to help, but all he knows how to do is bring snacks to me. I can't even text them because they can't be on their phones on the plane. I'm also worried that my mom is going to do something crazy because sometimes she does that, and I don't want her to find out where Jimmy lives and make a scene or something. I guess this isn't much of an update because the only new thing that happened is John and Kara going to Japan and me staying in America. I'm still mad about all of that, but it feels less important right now. Update 3. 6 days later. So me and Jimmy have been having a pretty good time. I learned that the guy is actually his uncle, so that's nice to know. He took us out to eat and we went to this light display at the park before he took us back home. He sent us to bed at like 9, but I'm pretty sure he knows we're both still awake. I think he only told us to get in bed because he's wrapping some stuff last minute. I talked with Kara for a bit and John even said hi too. He told me that mom hasn't stopped messaging them and they had to mute her, which makes sense. We all talked about break so far and the conversation drifted back to the Russian-Japanese stuff, and I told them that me and Jimmy were watching a bunch of old cartoons that were in Russian. Kara at least seemed mildly interested and said that even just listening to a foreign language makes it easier to grasp it. I think she cares a lot less about the whole thing than me and John do, tbh. She still definitely feels superior by knowing Japanese, but I think going to Japan made her feel a lot less strongly about the whole thing. Kara and John are basically done with celebrations now because Christmas Day isn't a big deal in Japan, only Christmas Eve. Kara said it was fun celebrating with their cousins, but that she's excited to come back to me. I don't know if she's being nice or if it's actually true. John said that he doesn't like the cousins and that they don't like him either, and I believe him because people don't usually like him. They're stuck in Japan for another 2 weeks or so just doing everyday things now because their family doesn't want them to act touristy or whatever. Kara sent me a bunch of pictures and she's smiling super big in each one. John has kind of a Kubrick stare going on, but that's typical for him. Seeing the pictures made me miss them both more, but I think it also made me even more annoyed. They've got this whole other family and all I have is mom, and their other family has enough money to bring them over to Japan for 2 weeks even though they barely like them. I think Kara and John complain about them to make me less jealous, but it only makes me even angrier. I think the real update though is that my mom tried to make a scene but failed because she doesn't actually know where Jimmy lives. I guess she thought he lived in our neighborhood because most of the people we interact with are from there. But Jimmy is a school friend, so he's from across town in a slightly nicer area. So mom screamed at some neighbors because their son has the same name as Jimmy, the real name, not actually Jimmy, but their Jimmy is like 23, so she went home again. I know this because other Jimmy is friends with John and told him, and John had Kara message me. Me and Kara laughed about it for a bit, and I'm pretty sure my mom won't do anything embarrassing for the rest of break like I was worried about. I don't think I'll have any real updates to the original issue of the Russian and Japanese thing until John and Kara actually come back from Japan and we have to be around each other again. So, probably not until school starts up again. Update 4. 1 month later. So it's been a while and I guess a lot of stuff happened. I didn't forget about this account, but I didn't want to write an update because I knew it would take a lot of effort. Obviously school started again a few weeks ago and Kara and John have been back for a while. They did bring me a lot of cool stuff and I do really like it, but I feel like I'm giving in and being too easy to please. And everything I'm happy around them I just get mad again. Our mom's been gone since I got back from Jimmy's house, so it was just us for like 2 weeks. It was nice being around them because they're my family and everything, but it was weird because we weren't even bringing any of the problems up. I was keeping up with the Russian because I still really want to learn it. I wasn't shoving it in anyone's faces, but John and I share a room and he saw me practicing my writing. He got mad and told me that I don't even have a real connection to Russia because I've never met my dad and that it's weird that I'm forcing it. We got in kind of a fight and I ended up leaving my phone at home, because John made me and Kara share our locations and I didn't want him following me, and going to Jimmy's house again. I wasn't going to stay forever obviously, but John figured out where I was pretty fast because I don't really have any other friends. He didn't chase after me though and texted Clark that I could stay the night. Clark let me, but he told me to stop walking around town at night without my phone because it's a dangerous area, which makes sense I guess, but I don't think people usually kidnap guys. I think I'm starting to really hate John. I don't know what his problem is. Kara didn't do anything, but I don't really want to talk to her either. I don't understand why they didn't want me to be Japanese, and now they don't want me to be Russian. They don't want me to be anything I guess. Update 5. Another month later. My mom dropped some slightly new information about my dad. Apparently he was engaged when they had their little fling. She says I shouldn't chase after him because he's probably married and has been married for years now, and I'd be ruining his life. I guess that makes sense, but also it's just annoying. Kara says I should try to find him, which obviously I've been doing, but I have barely anything to go off of even now. Kara thinks my dad might be nice and might have money and stuff. She said the marriage isn't an issue either because I can bribe my dad into giving me money so I don't tell his wife that he cheated on her when they were engaged. She was joking, but I don't think it's funny because that sort of thing wouldn't make him like me. John said not to bother with it and that I shouldn't need my dad's approval. Which is stupid because I'm not even looking for approval, I just wanted to meet him. Also, my mom has a new BF and he's extremely annoying. He decided to be our father figure and he sent me to my room for not doing the dishes that my mom made. John told me that he'll get rid of the guy soon though, so I'm just toughing it out for now. John and Clark have been becoming friends lately and it's actually super obnoxious. I like being able to go to Clark and Jimmy's house when John and Kara and my mom are being annoying, but like 3 times out of 10 John is already there. I don't even see what they could possibly be bonding over because Clark is cool and smart and John is himself. Jimmy just thinks it's funny, but I don't think he gets just how awful John is. It's like my family is a toxic presence just seeping into Jimmy and Clark's life, and it's low-key my fault and they don't even realize. Kara even came over once just to stand around. Literally didn't even talk to anyone, just stood there for like 5 minutes and then left. Jimmy's taking harder classes than me, so we haven't been able to do much Russian this week because his teachers are doing actual midterm tests. Clark is very focused on making sure Jimmy is focused so I can come over, but if Jimmy is studying I have to just watch TV or something. Commenter. I went back and read all the installments. Wild. Personally, I think you need to be like Jimmy and focus on school. Yep, 100% on making great grades and focus the curriculum on university prospects. And maybe a job to put all the earnings into. Immediate research into scholarships with full rides to a places far away from your family. And make it a school that has counseling services so you can untangle your head from the mess. I know you can't choose the family you are born into, but you can choose not to let their toxic BS ruin the rest of your life. Your mom is not spoken of often, but she seems useless, and the hang-ups that Kara and John have over a language choice is beyond weird. I think the language choice drama is a symptom of a much larger problem. You may never get out the secrets to understand their nonsense, but I believe you need distance and therapy. As for your dad, do a DNA test. It may help to focus your search. It may also bring out more secrets into the light. So, yeah, therapy. And, Kara's jokes about lying to your father in hopes to get some money out of him, ew. Personally, I would not share any information you discover about your dad with her. She sounds like someone who will weaponize anything you learn to make you feel less than. As your current family seems to keep you on the fringes and how you don't really feel as if you 100% a part of your family, I see where your desire to search for your father comes from. Finding him opens up a whole other can of worms though. He could be amazing and you find your people, or he could be awful and you find yourself tetherless and feeling unwanted again. So, I repeat, therapy, to deal with all. It.